Hey everyone, this is Gio,
And I'm Josie.
and today is a new episode of Games I Speak. And we decided to do this because of the PlayStation 5 reveal. So we wanted to kind of go over everything that was revealed by Sony on Thursday. So, first things first, we wanted to cover all the titles so that everyone
Yeah,
knows. So these are, from what I understand, these are the major launch titles, right? That Sony is going with.
correct. Or actually, no, it can't be all the major launch titles because there's some games that are like 2021,
Okay.
2022.
Okay, so only some of these are launch titles. Okay.
Yeah. And even then, we actually don't know which ones are launch titles because we don't have a launch date.
Okay. But
We'll
these
see.
are the titles that I guess Sony is using to kind of entice people to pick their
Correct.
platform. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. So first up, let's go over the indie titles real quick.
Yeah.
So we have Bug Snacks. This is a
Yeah.
narrative-driven adventure from the creators of Octodad. I never played Octodad.
Neither did I, but it was also Octodad also came out on the PlayStation 4. It looks very kid friendly.
Okay.
Um, I I'm not too interested in it. It looks kind of like collectathonish.
Yeah, yeah. It does. Yeah, it does look like it's a kids game.
Yeah,
Um.
but I mean, one thing that I have to say for this reveal event is that Sony did a good job of having a diverse portfolio of games to show,
Yes.
and that kind of game, even though it's not like a system seller, if you will, it's still pretty cool that it's being
Yeah.
represented.
I mean, it's always good to have a strong representation of indie games.
Hmm.
Especially because later on, as a console kind of dies down, it's really the indie games that keep a lot of people engaged in some of these consoles. So
Yeah, the indie slash third party
yeah,
games.
yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so let's see what else we got here. Goodbye Volcano High from Co-op, a cinematic narrative game that touches on love, friendship. Okay, so this seems like a social.
It looked like a visual
Yeah.
novel.
Okay. Got like a cool furry type vibe going on for it.
It definitely reminds me of like, kind of like a cartoon that you would find like maybe on Adult Swim or
Yeah.
something.
Next up, we got Jet, the Far Shore from Super Brothers. And
Yeah, they're the same people that did Sword and Sorcery. That was like a pixel art game on the iOS and Android
yep.
systems.
And let's see what this one's all about. This is a bittersweet interstellar trip to a oceanic planet, and it's also narrative-driven action adventure. So I see. That looks very odd, though.
Well, I mean, it kind of like in the trailer, it kind of reminded me of something like Civilization because you start off like in this like very what's it called? Low technology, almost ancient
Hmm.
civilization, for lack of a better term. And then it ends in like space
Okay.
exploration, and it goes all the way up to the atmosphere, and it shows kind of like a some kind of space station.
Okay.
And then there was a lot of like ship going through various environments or sailing through various environments. It looked pretty
Okay.
cool. Looks interesting. Intrigued.
But it's not like a. It's not like a sim like Civilization is, or like a.
I would need to see more gameplay. I don't think so, but then again, I don't
Okay.
know.
Fair enough. Now this is one that
Yeah.
really. This is one of my top five picks from the reveal.
Yes.
Coming up. So this one, Kina, Bridge of Spirits.
It looks very, very good.
It just, I mean, you know how a lot of games try to pretend to be Zelda? This
Yeah.
one, I think, I don't know. I don't know if they're going for that. I mean, it just reminds me of Zelda, but
I think they
yeah,
are. It reminds me of Zelda slash Beyond Good and
yeah.
Evil.
But it reminds me in Zelda of a way where I'm not even like I'm not even mad about it. Like it just looks so good. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's some good Zelda clones.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and say Darksiders is one of them. I really enjoyed Darksiders.
Yes. Yeah. Um, I didn't play this recent Darksiders, but I played the one before. I have a review up on Games I Beat, and I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah. I still need to play
Yeah.
Darksiders 3.
Okay, so let's go back to the list. Okay, so next up we got Little
Little
Devil
Devil Inside.
Inside.
I'm actually really excited for that.
Let's take a look at this.
This game looks very cool.
All right, so this, first of all, the thing that struck me about this game was the art style.
Yes, I like it
Yeah.
a lot. It feels very paper crafty.
Yes, and you know what? It kind of reminded me, or it kind of made me think of the new Mario origami game coming out.
Yes, which I'm super excited
Yeah.
for. But the combat in this looks
Yeah, so
good.
what is this? Is it action adventure?
I believe so. And it takes place through two different storylines where you go through like I guess I don't know if there's a temporal shift between the storylines, but you have this one which is like the young
Uh-huh.
adventurer and then the old man in like a Victorian setting, and it like intercuts between the two, telling a narrative.
Oh, okay.
If it hasn't shown it yet, but there's an old man
Let me
in
see
some
if I
kind of
can.
like there it is right here.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So it's like you get to experience two different lives.
Exactly, exactly, and it could do completely different lives.
Yeah,
So,
that's
so
pretty
it,
cool,
it
man.
seems to not only have a pretty interesting gameplay, but also narratively speaking, something to say.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there's any game that had dual timelines where you play like different characters like that. I can't think of one. Okay, so
Yeah, I can't think of it off the top of my head.
yeah. So next up, Oddworld Soulstorm.
Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh, yeah.
Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy. Yeah, I can only think of RPGs maybe.
So this game now, when we were kids, you remember Oddworld Abe's Odyssey came out?
So I didn't buy a PlayStation until I was exposed to, funny enough, Final Fantasy VIII and Resident Evil 2. Oddworld is a blind spot for me. I've actually never played any of the Oddworld games. I tried Stranger's Wrath, but I couldn't get into it.
Okay.
So this game looks interesting,
It does
but
look
I'm not
interesting.
I'm not really tied to the franchise.
Okay. Okay.
How about
Yeah,
yourself?
it's it was like what and I know there's a really good Oddworld game that came out on the Xbox, the original Xbox.
That's Stranger's Wrath.
Yeah, and that's the one that just got remastered, right? And it was
Yep,
released. Okay.
it's like a first-person shooter.
Yes, yeah, and that's very different from the one that was on PlayStation, which was more like a platformer.
Correct.
Yeah, and funny enough, there was actually a PC version of the PlayStation 1, and I had it on PC even though I owned a PlayStation. Because I remember downloading it, like the demo or something, and I played it. I was like, man, this game is crazy. But yeah, it's like a very at least the one on PlayStation was like a very like puzzle oriented platformer.
Yeah,
Uh,
gotcha.
s- so next up we got the Pathless from Giant Squid and Annapurna, which
Annapurna is publishing a lot of these indie titles. They've become quite they're growing a substantial portfolio in terms of these smaller indie titles.
yeah. So this
But
game looks beautiful.
they're also a video a movie studio of some kind. I forget what.
Oh,
This
interesting.
looks interesting.
Yeah, it does. It does. I like the look of it. Um, it looks like a action adventure type game.
Oh yeah, and I mean again, I'm getting Zelda feels from this.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, this
Um,
that's something to keep an eye out on. But then again, it also kind of like feels a little like Kina too.
yeah, it does. It
But
does.
Kina has like I feel like the more engaging art style. Like it's like kind of like some kind of like I guess like Pixar or some kind of like Disney, what do they call it? The CG studio. I forget what
Yeah.
they're called. Something like that.
Yeah, it's like an escape, you know?
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
somewhere you want to be.
Exactly.
um, so next up we got Stray,
Yes.
and this is from Blue 12 and Annapurna. And let's take a look at this. So this
And
one
this
was interesting. The
uh,
graphics are amazing in this game.
yeah, it looks
Um,
incredible.
it looks
But
like almost like a painting.
all the robots look like BMO from
Yeah.
Adventure Time, or BMO's face at least. And then you play as a stray cat in this robotic, I guess, decaying world. It
Yeah.
looks
Yeah,
looks very
it
dystopian.
looks like a cyberpunk Japan or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so you play as a stray cat, which is an interesting concept.
Yes.
Um, and you know,
And how you interact with the world and what you do to change
yeah.
things. I'm assuming it's going to be like Untitled Goose Game. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't. We'll see.
And the final one for the indie titles is Solar Ash.
Yeah, it's from the same developers as Hyper Light Drifter, and it has a very very similar art style. It looks to be a little bit more open world
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, I like that indie games are starting to embrace a more open world environment.
Mm-mm.
Um, because let's face it, the market's been saturated by these
Saturated.
these like platformer type indie games. So it's cool to see like a more open world, and it's also I like to see how a small studio tackles open world because I know it's much harder for them than a larger studio.
Very difficult.
All right, so next up we have these are third party titles.
Yes.
So it's really not
The,
surprising
the, the,
that Grand Theft Auto,
the system
yeah,
seller, Grand Theft Auto 5.
it's really not surprising that this is coming because it has such a massive player base that is still engaged in the game. And I recently downloaded it for free on PC through the Epic Game Store.
Can you scroll up, please? It says coming to PlayStation 5 in
Yeah,
2021.
so
Why delay? Why the
yeah,
delay?
I don't know. Now, here is something interesting to note about PlayStation or GTA 5. It's not crossplay. And
What?
that's what I said because I have a friend who has it on Xbox, and I got the
Yes.
PC version, and I was like, "All right, let's crossplay it up," and he was like, "There's no crossplay." So that's a major room for improvement. Now I don't know. The game is massive. It's a massive game.
Yeah.
It's a massive world. It's so complex. So, but I feel like that would be a major achievement if they could make that crossplay because then you could have the new people on PS5. They could play with the players on the older systems, and then you have the PC, and you're creating a massive kind of environment for players to just kind of like hang out with each other. I mean, that would be
No, I.
yeah.
But here's the thing: that game came out on the PlayStation 3. It is an
It's an
old
old
game,
game.
and yeah, granted, it has an amazingly large player base, and it's made Rockstar m- millions, billions. I don't know, but the hope a lot of people were having was that this was a reveal of Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yes.
And the fact that the year is 2021 for this, I just don't see Grand Theft Auto 6 anywhere near the horizon.
No, because don't forget they just spent most of their time making Red Dead Redemption 2.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and Red Dead Redemption 2 didn't perform as well, comparatively speaking, to something like Grand Theft Auto
Yes.
5.
So if we look here though, it says there's a range of technical improvements, visual upgrades, and performance enhancements. So I would just assume that they would make it more like the PC version because the PC version looks great. So, but who knows? We'll see. Um,
Mm-hmm.
okay, next up. Now this is from Tango GameWorks and Bethesda Softworks.
Yeah, well, it's developed by Tango Gameworks, which is Shinji Mikami's development
Yep.
studio, and Bethesda is publishing.
Okay. So let's see. Take a look at this one. Save a Tokyo under siege by spirits in a new adventure from mastermind Shinji Mikami. Okay, so
So,
you
oh,
no
go
no,
ahead.
you go ahead.
I was going to say, so they showed this off, or they unveiled it at E3 2019 at the Bethesda um, exhibit. What's it called? And it looked interesting. I mean, I already like Shinji Mikami's games. I mean, he was the father of Resident Evil. He's the one that made Resident Evil
Yeah.
4, you know?
Yeah,
And
that's a revolutionary
just
game.
his name in general. Like, and he also directed Vanquish, which you recently
Yes.
purchased. So, like, he's no stranger to survival horror or action. And in general, I actually like his games. Evil Within was a notable exception. I actually didn't really care for
Hmm.
it. I do want to give it a second chance, though. I hear Evil Within 2 is really good, and I actually purchased it, but I haven't played it
Okay.
yet. That being said, Ghostwire Tokyo, when I first saw it at the Bethesda unveiling, I was like, "Sweet, this looks cool," but it was just rudimentary, just showing some
Yeah.
clips, not real
Yeah.
play. This one showed gameplay, and unfortunately, I'm actually kind of bummed. It looks very arcadey,
Yeah.
and the first person view actually doesn't help it for me.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know. I maybe need to see a little bit more, but for the time being, the world looks interesting, and graphically it looks on par for what
Hmm.
Tango GameWorks has done. But I'm actually coming out of the reveal a little bit less interested than I was initially.
Okay.
How about you?
I didn't know about it until the reveal. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean I thought it looked pretty cool. But yeah, the gameplay didn't capture me in either, so
Yeah,
it's not one of my picks that I'm looking out for.
yeah.
So next up we have Godfall. Now this is one that you said you were interested in.
No, I did not.
Oh, I thought you said you were interested in this one. Okay.
No,
My
not at
bad.
all. this this is like those multiplayer like I don't know if it's like Overwatch or if it's close. Yeah,
Okay, let's see.
it looks like a
Let's see what this says. Players will be able to choose five master or master five weapon classes. Unlock various valor plates. I would assume that those are armor types through gameplay.
Mhm.
Level up and learn new skills, and choose to fight solo or online with friends with 3-player PvP online co. Okay, yeah, yeah. This is definitely not your type of game. Yeah. Now, me personally, when I saw that reveal for Godfall, I it didn't draw me in either. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, but I did like Overwatch. I loved Overwatch. I put a lot of time in Overwatch, but Overwatch had a more like cartoonish feel to
It
it.
had more character to
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It was like it had that like Blizzard appeal, where the
Yeah.
art style
Yeah.
is so
It had the cool
consistent.
factor.
Yeah.
Hmm. And also, I mean, like Overwatch, even though I didn't really get into it, like I would love to see an Overwatch movie. Like those characters and the way that the art direction for that game is pretty incredible.
Dude, the digital shorts that they come out with are amazing.
Yeah, like I said, I like that one that that makes me want more of like a
Yeah.
movie, something a little bit more
All
substantial.
right, Blizzard, you heard the man. Just don't make it like World of Warcraft.
Oof, oof, ouch.
All right, next up, this is one that made my top 5, Project Athea. So, this was very mysterious. I didn't really know what was going on, but the game just looks so beautiful to me that I just want to know more about it. What about you?
So, I'm a gigantic fan of Square Enix. I love a lot of Square Enix stuff. And so a little background on this is Project Athea, or Athea, pardon, is developed being developed by Luminous
Okay.
Productions. And Luminous Productions, they're the key players in the graphics engine called the proprietary graphics engine at Square Enix called Luminous Studios, which was used to develop Final Fantasy 15.
Okay.
And so the same team that worked on Final Fantasy 15 and made Final Fantasy 15, aside from Hajime Tabata, who I think left Square
Mhm.
Enix, is working on Project Athia
Okay.
or Athia. Part I don't know
I
how to
don't know how
pronounce
to.
it.
I'm just
Anyway,
saying Athea.
anyways, when Luminous Studios was unveiled, the actual graphics
Mhm.
engine, they did a real time demo, and it's called Agni's Prophecy. Agni apostrophe
Okay.
s. Agni's Prophecy, and a lot of the story within that real time demo is actually in here for Project Athea.
Okay. Okay.
So if you want just a little bit more insight, like the wolf creature looks like a wolf creature that's in Agni's philosophy, but Agni's philosophy, funny enough, was a Final Fantasy. It was deemed a Final Fantasy real time demo, but maybe it's changed for
Okay.
this. And then Athea, actually, I did a little bit of digging. Athea is actually the a word in Latin for spite.
Oh,
So maybe it has something to do with like a revenge story.
interesting. Interesting.
That being said, Final Fantasy 15 was not my favorite game.
No, but it was beautiful.
It
It
was
was a
gorgeous,
gorgeous game.
but I was really disappointed in that game, and so I'm interested in this
Mhm.
game, but not like it's not a system seller just yet. I need to know
Okay.
more.
Okay. Fair enough. Um.
Hmm.
So let's take a look. Okay. So Hitman 3. You're not a big Hitman player, are you?
So I purchased the original new like reboot, I guess. I don't know if it's a reboot, but the new Hitman, because this is
Mhm.
Hitman 3 from like Hitman 1 and 2 beforehand that came out on the PlayStation 4. And it was like before it was being released as a seasonal type, like episodic type
Yeah.
game. And I beat the first episode and never went back. So I mean, luckily they learned from that and they've been releasing the full game. I
Yeah.
think they believe they released the full game for Hitman 2, and they went away from the episodic style. But it's a really good looking stealth game with really cool mechanics. I'm not too intrigued.
Yeah.
It looks like more of the same. So if you're a fan of Hitman, be
Yeah.
excited.
And I gotta say, I played the original Hitman on PC.
Okay, the original
Yeah, and I
original.
liked it. I liked the original, but when I saw the newer ones coming out, maybe it was because they did that episodic thing, but it
Yeah.
didn't resonate with me. I didn't want to play it. But I did like the original one, so I mean, maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have NBA 2K21. I know this is your
Which
favorite.
is interesting.
This is your favorite game.
Yeah, it is. And it's funny because they've changed it. Now it's a first person shooter.
Yeah. But
It's an open world
we're
roguelike.
okay. We'll be upfront with the audience here. Me and Josie are not sports games players, and we used to be when we were young because sports games were different back in the the golden age of gaming.
NBA
Yeah,
Jam.
and yeah, they were more arcadey. They were more fun.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
do gotta say, this game looks phenomenal.
It
I mean, if
does.
I wasn't wearing my glasses, I would think this was a real guy right now.
Yes.
So,
Yes. No, I
yeah,
agree. It looks
yeah,
incredible. They definitely added a lot of
yeah.
sweat.
So no hate, no hate to the sports gamers out there, but me and Josie are just not. So,
Yeah, no.
okay, so this is one you said you were interested in, Deathloop.
Yes. Deathloop from Arcane Studios, the same developers as Dishonored, the
Yeah, and I
Dishonored
know you
series.
really like Dishonored.
Yes. So this actually looks like just it's odd because as interested as I'm in this game, it does look like Dishonored by another name.
Yeah, it's kind of all right. There we go. Just so you know, people, that's not my birthday. All right, so
But this looks
it
cool.
does look cool. Now, what now I'm. Did you ever see the movie with Bruce Willis called Looper or something?
Uber.
Yeah. This
Yeah, I did
immediately
not like it.
reminded me of that.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah.
that.
Now, the main
Yeah.
mechanic I saw when I was looking at this trailer is they're able to teleport. And I guess
Yeah.
that's
So in Dishonored, it was called Blink.
yes. Yeah. So it looks like a stealth first person shooter where you get to use your these like magical abilities to just kind of stunt on people.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
So I mean to me it looks like a very stylish game. Yeah.
Yes, yes, it does look very stylish. I love the kind of 60s aesthetic that it's got
Yeah.
going on. And of course, I really enjoy the gameplay, but it doesn't look like it's a substantial difference from
Yeah.
Dishonored. But then again, maybe that's not needed. What I do want to know more about is there any substance to the style? Is there like an actual story that's like that there's some meat to this? Because so far it looks like kind of arcadey, and it's you versus a rival assassin. You can play as either one, I
Yeah.
think. Oh, they've only showed the one
Yeah.
assassin, and I need to see a little bit more. But it looks great, and I'm interested.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Um so me personally, I'm kind of interested in it, but it's not like a
It's not a
yeah, it's
system
not a
seller.
system seller for me. So
I feel you.
now here, speaking of a system seller,
Yo.
Resident Evil Village. Now, tell me the truth. When you first saw this game, when they were showing the gameplay, did you know it was going to be a Resident Evil game?
Yes.
Really? I did
Yes.
not. I
I
did
mean,
not.
so we were supposed to have John with us, which is another mutual friend of
Yeah.
ours, and I watched the PlayStation 5 reveal event with him, and I was like, this is Resident Evil. This is Resident Evil.
And did
First
he
of
agree
all,
with
I
you?
knew the
Did he agree
huh?
with you?
Uh, I think maybe he did. I knew it was Resident Evil by the as soon as we got into the house and there was that shotgun shot,
Oh, okay.
which is like pretty early. Even yeah, well before the
Yeah,
umbrella
yeah. There's a sign right there.
unveiling. Yeah.
So, so this is gonna be kind of like a prequel, right? To what's been going on. Like,
No, it's a sequel to Resident Evil 7.
oh, okay. See, I
Yeah,
haven't played Resident Evil
which you need
7
to play.
because I didn't even know it existed until you told me.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7 is amazing, but it is jarring for fans of the series because it does take place completely in first
Okay.
person. There's no third person gameplay. But I thought they did a really good job
Yeah.
with it, and I really really enjoyed it. It's incredibly atmospheric, and I actually have it on PSVR.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna replay it in
Yeah.
PSVR. I need to experience it that way. But I actually originally played it on the Xbox
Okay.
One, and it felt like it was going to be a reboot. And even then, the character designs for this is not a spoiler because Chris Redfield is right there in this
Yes.
trailer. The character design for Chris Redfield is substantially different than his original character design from something like Resident Evil
Yeah.
5 or even Resident Evil
Yeah.
1. You know, so we'll see what the story entails, but I really really enjoy the atmosphere and feeling of this. It feels like it's harkening back even more to Resident Evil 1, the original
Mhm.
Resident Evil 1. And even a little bit of Resident Evil 4. That castle just gave me so many Resident Evil 4
Nice.
feels. As well as like what is going on? Is there like some kind of not? I don't think it's time travel, but I think like we're gonna get story from the past about certain aspects within the narrative because they show like I guess some 1930s people, 1920s people. I don't know. I don't know what time period it is, but it does look old
Yeah,
timey.
that's why I thought it was going to be a prequel. Because I was like, looks like a different
Oh,
time period. But
okay.
I guess it's
No.
probably it might be a place in the world that hasn't evolved like the rest of the world. It might be a place that's kind of stuck in time, maybe. I don't know.
Could be.
But it
Could
looks
be.
great.
Resident Evil is not a stranger to doing that. Resident Evil 4 is one of those. With that one little kid, I forget his name, Salazar. I forgot his name. He looked like he was like some kind of emperor from like some old
Yeah.
time. I don't know, Napoleon. Anyways, but I am sufficiently hyped for Resident Evil Village, and if Resident Evil Village is a day one like release, it's
You're
over.
gonna pre-order?
Like PlayStation, yeah, but I don't think so. Did it give a time period as to when it might be released? Did it have a time at the end of the trailer?
Um, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
I hope it is a an early release, but who knows?
Yeah.
All right. So next up, this is another game you told me you were interested in. This is another game from Capcom,
Yes.
Pragmata or Pragmata. I don't know
Yes.
how to say it. So this,
So funny
yeah,
enough, as soon as I saw this, the beginning trailer, like pause right there, I got that helmet reminding me of Dead Space.
you know what? I've heard two things. I've heard it reminded people of Dead Space, and I've heard it reminded people of Death Stranding.
Yes, I
Yeah,
could see
I've
that.
got that. I've
I
heard
could see that.
those, but yes, you're right. That does look like a Dead Space helmet.
Yeah, but play it real quick, and then not just the helmet, but also the I think there's like some kind of scanning thing that he does right now,
Yes.
and the scan also reminded me a little bit of Dead Space as well.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this game looks amazing.
There it is.
Yeah.
That. Yeah, no, this game looks incredible. But then again, this is unfortunately a CG cutscene, if you will.
Yes.
So I don't even know if this is in-game graphics. It could be in-game
That could
graphics.
totally be in-game graphics. That little girl,
Yeah.
I mean, that cat, that could totally be in-game graphics.
Yeah, I like the holographic robot cat.
Yeah, so
But yeah, no, this looks incredible, and I'm intrigued by the mystery, like
yes.
just the little android girl, as well as the falling up through the holographic
Hmm.
atmosphere. Like whatever's going on here, this is like some Inception stuff going on,
Yes, it did.
and then a satellite comes bursting through, and then this part right here, actually, as they're floating up, just reminded me of the movie Gravity with Sandra Bullock.
Yes, yeah. Great movie, by the way.
Yeah, I'm all about that movie. That movie, I love that movie. So like, the tech, the way, the look and feel
Hmm.
of this has got me so hyped.
Yes. I mean, I didn't even know what to think when I saw it because it was just so wild. But
Yes,
looking at it again, I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to play this.
yeah. And then pragmata, it is a Greek word for things, whatever that
Yeah,
means.
yeah, whatever that means.
Yeah, exactly.
So okay, yeah, so we covered all the indies and the third party games. Now we're gonna cover
Yep.
the
First,
first party titles, and these are the ones that Sony's really going in, the
the
big
big
ones.
ones.
So first up, we have Horizon Forbidden West. Now,
Yes,
I did not beat the first one, and
you played
I
it though.
played it. Um,
Okay.
the I don't know why I didn't finish the first one. I kind of feel bad that I didn't, but the
It's an open world game. Maybe you got caught up with
yeah,
something
I probably
else.
got caught up with something else. But this game is one of the most beautiful games I've ever played or seen. Like this series.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's just the way that they build the world. You know, it just looks so great. I mean, are you looking forward to this?
Oh, definitely. This is definitely my top
Yeah,
five.
this is definitely my
I
top five.
actually have. I really enjoyed the first Horizon. Shout out to Ashley Birch from Hey Ash, What You Playing, for voicing
Hmm.
Aloy. I think she does a convincing job of portraying Aloy, and not just that, but the gameplay loop and the world is so interesting, and immersive. Like I liked just going from place to place to place and living in that world. And that's the thing. That's the thing. If the open world doesn't catch you and you don't want to be in that world, then it's kind of
Yes.
failed. And in that regard, like Horizon definitely got me because initially I wasn't too interested in narratively speaking into
Hmm.
the game, but the gameplay itself and the world and the enemies, the monsters, is just so amazing. And like I'm like excited to see what they're gonna do here, especially the underwater
Hmm.
portions, which you're
Yeah.
seeing. Different monster types. Like there's like that elephant type monster type that they show at
Yeah.
the end. So I am definitely all about this
Yeah. Me
game.
too.
And it looks great. It looks
It looks
great.
amazing, man.
Yeah.
Looks amazing. I can't wait to play this. I'm definitely gonna go back and beat the first one.
Yeah, do it. I actually need to play the Frozen Wilds. I haven't played the DLC, so that's one thing that definitely um, got me to maybe go back.
Yeah. So next up we have Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales from Insomniac
Yes.
Games and Marvel. So
Yes.
what did you think of this one?
So I think it looks very cool. I still haven't played
Hmm.
Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man from
Yeah,
Insomniac yet.
I have it. I haven't
I
played it
love
yet either.
I loved the OG Spider-Man games, specifically Spider-Man 2.
Dude, Spider
Um,
people don't understand how revolutionary Spider-Man 2 was. When it came
exactly,
out, there
exactly.
was nothing that was like that. The world, like
Yeah,
you flying all over the place. Yeah.
exactly. So the one thing that I guess I haven't given Spider-Man a chance yet is because from the trailers that I saw, it looked very QTE
Hmm.
heavy. And I was just like not too interested in
Yeah.
that, but we'll see. I need to give it a chance. I need to play it. But this game looks
It
incredible.
does.
Um, but here's the thing: it doesn't look like PS5 incredible, and I will tell you why. It's because it looked like a game, and I thought it was a game, but it's actually DLC for Spider-Man, the game that already came
So they
out.
decided to pivot and turn it into its own game.
Well, no, I don't know about that. I think it's still
Oh,
DLC.
okay. So wait,
So,
how's that gonna work though?
well, that's what I'm trying to say is that initially I thought that it was a standalone like sequel game that's starring Miles Morales, but instead it's DLC, and that's why the holiday 2020 release
Hmm.
date. I think they were allowed to say that because it's going to be releasing on the PlayStation 4 as well.
Okay, okay. So
So that's an important distinction.
yeah,
and
and
and they've already spoken in terms of the PlayStation 5 that they've had like demos of Spider-Man running on the PlayStation 5 and how improved it has been running on that
okay.
system. Think of it like Xbox 360 games running on the Xbox One, where the game itself hasn't changed, but the way that it is running on the system improves certain aspects of the game.
Yes. Yeah. Now we'll we'll get to the console after we finish all these games.
Yes.
But yeah, one of the biggest things is if you have a game that's going to be on the older system and the newer system, it's gonna it's probably going to maximize the older system and it's only going to utilize a little bit from the newer system because there's no way
Yes.
they're going to develop two different versions of the game. They're going to just tweak it. So, yeah, it's probably not going to be that much better than the PS4 versions.
Yes.
All right, so next up we have a very familiar game, Ratchet and Clank. Now, I don't know why these
Yes.
videos aren't working. Let me refresh the page. So, did you play the original ones?
So I haven't played any Ratchet and
Yeah,
Clank
because I haven't
games,
either.
and but this one looks really good. And I actually did purchase Ratchet and Clank for the PlayStation 4, the one that looks like a Pixar
Hmm.
movie. So I do need to play it, but I just haven't gotten to it. This looks incredible.
It
Like
does.
they have taken all the particle effects and put them all in this
Yeah.
game. So and the quick switching between worlds. I don't know if it's something that actually happens in game and that you can actually
Uh-huh.
do, or it's just a cinematic that's trying to convey the aspect of the game very quickly. But the gameplay that they showed within this showcase was very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. No, this
Like
looks
right here,
cool as
this is
hell,
gameplay,
man. Yeah.
right? Is this gameplay? Because that's my question.
I don't know, but it looks like gameplay.
It looks so good, and then he just does this over and over again, and just keeps going from place to place to place. And I'm just like, if this is gameplay, then yeah, no, I'm interested, definitely.
But dude, if you're playing this game, do not take mushrooms beforehand. 'Cause you're gonna lose your mind because this looks insane. I don't know what's going on, dude.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
Now maybe
And look at the variety of worlds.
Yeah, it's. I just don't know how if you had something that sporadic, how you would be able to keep the player focused on
Like
objectives.
this gameplay, right?
This looks like gameplay. Yeah, that looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And then that's
That's
the
the
cinematic.
cinematic.
That's clearly a cinematic.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, no, it looks cool. I just don't. I'm gonna take a guess and say that they probably set it up like that for the reveal because it just seems hard to keep a player on focus if they're teleporting that much. Like how are you going to do objectives if you're teleporting that much?
Fair.
Yeah, but I don't know. I
Fair.
could be wrong. But
we won't know.
yeah,
until
we
see
won't
it.
know to see. But it looks great. Okay, so next up, this is huge. This is my number one.
Oh,
Demon
yes.
Souls from Japan Studio and Blue Point Games. Now,
I also called this game.
yeah. No, I knew it was. Actually, this is what happened. When they showed it, I was like, "Is this Elden Ring?" And then I was like, "Oh no, this isn't Elden Ring." But I knew it was a From Software game. So
How do you know it's
I know that's
software?
the thing. So explain, like, this is Japan Studio and Blue Point Games. So, how is this connected to Demon Souls, the original? Because I know this boss. I remember playing this boss.
I think the Field Knight.
Yeah, that was
So,
after you got past the bridge with the dragon, right?
yeah, no.
I think it was.
I think he's the second. I think he's the second boss. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. Right after the bridge.
So
with the dragon.
explain
he's in that little
how
cap.
is this a complete remaster or is this like
I think this was being rebuilt from the ground up.
okay?
This is being rebuilt. It's not just a remaster. It's being rebuilt, kind of like Shadow of the Colossus was rebuilt by Blue Point Studios.
Okay.
And to be honest, so I feel like happy and a little wary at the same time, and I'll tell you why. I'm happy because it's Demon
Yes.
Souls, like just point blank Demon Souls. That's literally one of my favorite games of all time, and that's my favorite Souls
Yes,
game.
and let's just so that the audience knows, Demon Souls currently is console locked to only the PS3. That's the
Correct.
only way you can play Demon Souls.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, continue.
So the thing is that Demon Souls is an important game for me, and I actually played it again recently when they shut down the servers, I believe a few years ago. And like, I am just excited just to see this, and I hope people can get the the same amount of affection or grow that same amount of affection for the series as I have. And I mean, this is where all the Souls games started, for the most part, this generation. A lot of people will go back to Kingsfield,
or
but
Otage.
for me, this is where Souls really started. Anyways, From Software is not developing it. I don't know how much they are putting into it or how much they've given. So it shows, and that's where my wariness comes from. There's a level of polish here that I don't see in From Software games. Like, it looks a little too clean.
Yes.
If you understand what I say. There's a bit of grunge to From Software games that I love.
The armor and when in the original, everything is very muted. There's no
Yes.
shine on the
Yes.
armor. There's nothing like that. It's very muted. So yes, I see.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of confused me when I originally saw this trailer, was because I was like, it just doesn't look like, yeah,
Exactly. The atmosphere isn't completely
yeah,
captured. That I get from software games. And honestly, it made me want to replay Demon Souls again. But there's a lot of key elements within Demon Souls that I will be interested to see if they bring back. One of those elements is the world tendency system, which is unique solely to Demon
hmm
Souls. The world tendency system is literally a method in which they judge whatever actions you take place in the game. For example, killing an NPC, and then changing the world's balance from light to dark. And if it goes too dark, then it locks your ability to open certain quests and certain
yeah,
NPCs, and vice versa. And then not just that, but if you go dark, then the game is actually harder. When you'll do less damage when you're in soul form, and enemies will do, I think, more damage, but you'll get better
yeah.
drops, and vice versa when you're in a light world. Other NPCs will open and stuff like that. But the thing is that game, because of the world tendency system and it being linked to online play, a lot of people, me myself included, played the game offline in order to control world tendency better.
Ah, okay.
So I mean, maybe that's why it's locked. And then even then, this game also had like a hub world, kind of like Bloodborne, where you had the hunter's cabin. I forget what it was called.
The Hunter's Lodge or something
And
like that. I can't
yeah,
remember,
and
but I know what you're talking about.
and here you have shoot, I am the Nexus. You have the
Yes.
Nexus, and there's this one maiden, this one woman called the Shrine Maiden, and I'll tell you right now, Demon Souls won't be Demon Souls if they don't get her voice actors
Oh,
back. They need to get her voice actors back. She is
yeah,
important.
yeah. No, you're right.
And the thing is that one thing that I'm really interested in going forward with this game is that at the beginning of the cutscene within the game, they show this winter like ice level with like snow-capped mountains. There was no ice level in the game. It was actually cut content.
Ah,
That is the land of
okay.
giants. And so that gives me hope that we'll probably see some of the cut content and cut monsters in this game. And
Yes.
then that way, there'll be more content. I don't know if this will be the definitive version, especially since it's not being made from
Yeah.
Software, but I am so hopeful. I'm
Yeah, I'm
excited.
excited too, and I do want to bring up a point.
Mm.
When even within From Software, if when they took what's the director's name again of the Dark Souls series?
Miyazaki.
Miyazaki, right?
Let me double.
I think it's Miyazaki. Even when so for people who aren't like fans of the series, when Dark Souls 2 came out, everybody was like,
Hidetaka
yeah,
Miyazaki.
when Dark Souls 2 came out and everyone, you and me played it, we were like, something's missing. This game doesn't feel right. And it was because Miyazaki wasn't on the team. And
Correct.
that is keeping the game within From Software Studio. We could notice just because the director wasn't on the game. So you do bring up a
Yes.
valid criticism in the fact that this is a different studio. So it might
Yes.
not feel like a Demon Souls. It just might not. So I hope that's not the case. I hope From Software has some play in this, where they get to play the game and give feedback. But man, I want it to be good. I really want it to be
Yes.
good.
No, I want it to be
Yeah.
amazing. And I'm more excited than I should be. I should be cautiously optimistic, but I'm really
Yeah.
excited.
All right. So next up, um, Gran Turismo 7 from
Which they also changed. It's now a first-person shooter as well.
This is from Polyphony Digital, and
Mm.
now I gotta say I was a huge Gran Turismo fan back in the day. Gran Turismo 2. Um, that was like one of my favorite games of all times as a kid. And I don't know if you knew this, but you used to be able to take your cars on memory cards and take them to a friend's house and race their cars on their console.
Uh-huh.
That's what we used to do back in the day. But so this is the newest generation. I know we said before we're not big sports game fans, and I do consider this a sports game. It
Yes.
is a racing
Well,
game,
it
yeah.
is.
But I mean, dude, it looks sick. I mean, these cars look amazing.
It looks
Yeah,
gorgeous, but here's the thing. I am a fan of arcadey racers. Like I'm like
like Ridge
Burnout,
Racer and stuff.
Outrun. Not Ridge Racer. I'm not. I never got into Ridge Racer. Funny enough, but Burnout was my
Yeah,
jam.
Burnout.
Uh,
Man. Oh,
I was recently playing Horizon Chase Turbo, and graphically, those games don't hold a candle to anything like
yeah.
this. And even gameplay wise, these games strive for
Yes.
realism. They always have. At least from when I was exposed to it. Like the first Gran Turismo game I ever played, and the only one I ever purchased was Gran Turismo 3 on the PlayStation 2. And I bought it mostly because all my friends were
Mhm.
playing it. They were like super excited and it looked incredible. But oh my God, I could not. I did not want to spend the time to accrue licenses, to unlock cars, to play the game. I don't know. It didn't jive with
It's
me.
for
So as gorgeous as this game
yeah.
looks, I'm not really
Yeah,
interested.
it's for enthusiasts. It's definitely a car
Yes.
enthusiast game.
Yeah.
Which there's nothing wrong with that, but if you're not
No.
into that, then yeah, I mean, I could see the problem with that. Um,
Yeah.
Me personally, I have friends who get like the whole like steering wheel, and they're like racing in the game, and if you do it that way, I mean, it's pretty awesome. But I mean, dude, those steering wheels cost a lot of money, man.
Yes, they do. It's not a
No, it's
joke.
not a joke. It's like a serious investment if you're trying to play it that way.
Yes.
Um, so okay, accidentally closed the link. Okay. So now we're gonna bring up Sackboy, a big adventure from Sumo Digital.
Yeah, so it's not Media
Yeah,
Molecule, the actual creators of Little Big
yeah.
Planet, and it's not Little Big
It's not
Planet.
Little Big
It's
Planet. Yeah,
actually it seems to be more of a platformer utilizing Sackboy, the property of Sackboy, and you know that QT art
yeah,
style. It looks adorable. I'm not too
yeah,
intrigued or interested, but it definitely it's again like showcasing the diverse portfolio that PlayStation has to cater to different
yeah.
demographics.
Now it does look like a like more of like a 3D platformer.
Yes.
Um, which is cool. I mean, it looks good. But yeah, I'm not. This isn't my type of game either. So,
Yeah.
um, all right. Next up, we have Returnal, and this is one that I know you're interested in.
I am super interested in this.
So yeah,
This felt like Aliens
actually,
slash or Alien slash Metroid to me.
let's see.
And it's coming from the development studio called Housemark.
Yes,
They made the amazing shooter called Nex Machina,
yeah,
and
that's a great game.
I think the PlayStation 4 launch title
Mhm.
Resogun, as well as other games. But this is the first time that I've seen them actually do like a large scale like third person action type
Yeah,
game. That's not like some kind of like uh arcadey. It's not as arcadey as like Resogun and Nex Machina
yeah.
are.
Now
So go ahead.
the main thing that I got off this game when I saw it was it reminded me of that Tom Cruise movie where they
Oblivion.
Oblivion. No, no, not Oblivion. The one where
Oh, Edge
Edge
of
of
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, where they have to keep dying until they get it right. And
So Deathloop.
yeah, it's like a death loop. I mean, that's what I'm seeing in the trailer.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're
So it
right.
looks like a game where, I mean, this lady is kind of stuck on this hostile planet, and she has to like figure out how to get out of there. And she keeps dying and coming back to life. I mean, it looks pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, I hope it's not a roguelike, but it
Look at
definitely
this.
it gives me like a sense of like
Yeah.
exploration and action adventure. That third person shooting looks really
And
fun.
this is the part that threw me off because when I first saw the trailer, but then you see
Yes.
these like horror monsters, and then you're like, oh, is this a horror game?
Yeah, that's what I was feeling. That's why I referenced
Yeah,
Alien.
yeah. It looks. I mean, it looks like a psychological thriller, to be honest.
Hmm.
Um,
But the gameplay looks so action
yeah,
focused.
it does. It does.
Like I'm excited. I'm excited
Yeah,
for that. And Next Machina, if any of the viewers haven't played it, you're sleeping on it. If you like
yeah,
shooters with amazing soundtracks, check it out.
yeah. Definitely.
It should be
Okay, so next up we have Destruction All
Destruction All Stars.
Stars from Lucid Games. This is an action-packed sports event that pits drivers against one another in an intense competition. Um, so this is a more arcadey type game. Um, let's take a look here. So it looks like an arena game, but you're driving cars.
Yes, I do like the art style of
Yeah.
it.
You know what it kind of reminds me of?
What?
What's that one game where you play soccer with cars?
Rocket
Rocket
League.
League.
Yeah, it reminded me of Rocket League too,
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, it kind of reminds it's like a more uh in your face Rocket League, I guess you could say. But yeah, I mean it looks cool. Not my type of game, but yeah, definitely looks cool. Uh
Yeah. I'm not too interested either.
now this is
But you're
this
right. It does look cool to a
yeah.
degree.
So this is the final thing here. This is Astro's Playroom from Japan Studios. Now this game looked like a platformer to me. Um, and it looked pretty cool. Um, but again, it's just I don't know if it's my type of game. You know what I mean?
So this game or this character was, as far as I'm concerned, I could be wrong, was unveiled or debuted on the PlayStation
Hmm.
VR in this game called Astro Bot, and apparently it's a really well reviewed PlayStation VR
Okay.
game. It's a third person platformer. I still need to try it out, but from what I hear about this game, I think it might come boxed with the console. I could be
Oh,
wrong.
okay.
I think, and it's like more of like a technical showcase,
Oh, okay.
especially with the controller. That's why they keep showing the character with the
Okay.
controller.
So this is like a demo game.
It could, yeah, it could be a demo game, but because I mean, you see like all this PlayStation themed stuff
Yeah.
in the game. Um, but it shows that they haven't even looked at anything. What's it called? PlayStation VR still. See, it says preloaded on
Yeah.
PS5.
Okay. All right. So it's gonna come with the console. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not so much a game that you're gonna buy. It's you're already gonna get it. It's like Wii Sports for the
Yeah.
Wii.
All right. So since we covered all the games, now we're gonna just quickly go over the console.
Yep.
Now, I do want to bring this up. Have you ever heard of that YouTube show Linus Tech Talks?
Yes, he's
Yeah,
great. I actually look at his reviews for TVs
yeah.
as well.
So
That's one of the reasons why I got the TV that I have.
he's really good, and he came up with a video where he was like, because you remember they were saying that the PS5 is going to have one of the fastest like data transfer rates,
Solid state drives.
yeah, of any SSD drive in the market.
Yes.
And he was like, he made a video where he was like, no, That's just not possible. And he brought out all these facts and stuff. But
Okay.
he recanted, he apologized because he said, you know what? Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about because apparently Sony wrote a custom, I'm probably getting this totally wrong, but a custom cache controller, which basically allows them to use current SSD technology, but to do it in a way that is faster than every SSD drive out there. So that's what he was saying in a video I saw. So the PS5 might actually have some of the fastest loading times we've ever seen in any console or
Okay.
computer for a game.
Yes.
So that's huge. That's huge because
Yes.
everybody hates loading times. We all know that. We all know load.
I like loading
You like
times.
loading times?
I like it when there's a screen that gives me information and I can read like entire novels while I wait for the loading
Yeah.
to end.
So yeah,
I'm
that
kidding.
I just want to bring that up because I thought that was an interesting fact about the PS5. So it might have literally,
No, that isn't.
yeah, that's a cool fact. So let's bring this up here. So here we have, this is the full lineup at launch. All right, so you have the
Yes.
DualSense controller. You have two different versions of the console. You have one
Yes.
that comes with an Ultra HD Blu-ray drive,
Yes.
and one that is digital media only.
Yes.
Here's a nice looking headset. Here's a
Which they've been touting 3D audio.
3D audio. Yep. Here's a controller. I would assume that's like if you want to watch movies or whatever, you can use it as a media center. And here's the actual DualSense controller. And this looks like a motion tracker kind of camera.
Well, it's the I actually don't know what it's called. On the PlayStation 3 it was called the PlayStation
Mhm.
Eye, and the PlayStation 4 the PlayStation Camera.
Yeah.
There it is, PlayStation Camera. Really original name. But it's used for
Yeah.
VR.
Okay. So that tracks your movements in VR. Okay.
Yes.
So we got this, and I think personally, I think it's a smart move for Sony to split the two different consoles up because you can't just say, all right, here you go. You're only going to get a digital console. And a lot of people don't want to pay extra money for a CD drive or a DVD drive they're never going to use if they're digital people, right? So this gives the best of both worlds to two kind of players. Now, I know John couldn't make it today, but he's the digital gamer. He's a digital type of gamer. You and me are physical gamers. So we both have our own choice of console now, which I think is a smart move by them.
Yes, but I would say to add on to that is it's not just for digital only people, but also to have a different price range for people, because I don't know what the price is going to be, but there will be a difference in price between the one that has a disk drive and the one that doesn't.
And
Microsoft did this with the Xbox SAD edition. The Xbox S all digital, and so that'll save on the cost of making the console, but also save anyone that's interested in that console money to get on the PlayStation 5 bandwagon.
Exactly.
That being said, that the physical the version with the disk drive is not solely for people that just like physical stuff. It's also for people that want to utilize their PlayStation 4 library. I mean, the install base for PlayStation 4 is in such a way that there's not a lot. The larger majority owns these games on physical media.
Yeah.
And to replay those games, to have the ability to play those games on the PlayStation 5 will be key. Here's an example: Spiderman. So you won't be able to play those games unless they have some kind of system in place where they're like, oh, you bought it physically, you can redeem it digitally on the new system, kind of like what Xbox is doing with titles like
Hmm.
Cyberpunk, which is really
Yeah.
cool because that's huge. That's huge. You only buy the game
Yep.
once, and then you redeem it for the new system, upgraded in whatever ways it's
Yeah.
upgraded. Oh, and that's through just one single purchase. That's incredibly consumer
It is,
friendly.
and I gotta say that it sucks when you buy a game like, for example, let's say we got um, Last of Us 2, right? Let's say we just bought that for PS4 and we played it and we loved it, and
Yeah.
then like a few months later they're like, oh, by the way, we're releasing it on PS5, 59.99, and we're just like, come on, like, and
Well, that's kind of what happened with the original
that's
Last of
why I brought
Us
it up.
because the Last of Us,
That's why I brought it up because
huh?
that's what happened to me with the first Last of Us. I was like, damn it. If I knew you guys were going to be making a PS4 version, I wouldn't have bought the PS3 version.
Yeah, I'm currently replaying Last of Us Remastered on PlayStation
Yeah.
4, and honestly, the graphics for the most part hold up. It's still a very good
Yeah.
looking game, but graphically speaking, it was already pushing the PS3
To the
in such a
max. Yeah.
way that it doesn't look like such a leap graphically from the PlayStation 3 to the PlayStation
No.
4. Yes, in terms of
No.
resolution and frames per second, it's been improved, and especially in terms of loading times. But in terms of like actual graphical fidelity, like I don't know. Maybe my eyes are untrained, but I don't see like a huge
Yeah.
difference. And that's exactly what you're talking about,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. So, and yeah, and I mentioned that earlier too. So, okay. A couple things before we go. I just wanted to bring this up. Have you heard anything about the backwards compatibility for the PS5?
Well, that's one of the things that like
Because
upset
I
me
didn't see
about the
anything.
well, in the reveal when it first started, before it even showed any
Yeah.
games, it showed like the original Sony PlayStation
Yeah.
logo, from the original OG PlayStation, and it was like 1994, and then it like showed some of the years, and I was like, oh snap, are they unveiling backwards compatibility? And they did
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. So,
So I don't know. Aside from PS4 backwards compatibility, I don't see anything else. And to be honest, the PlayStation 3 architecture is incredibly difficult to replicate. So I actually don't even know if it's going to be able to do that. I think they're going to stick to their online service, PlayStation Now, for any kind of older games like PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, and
but
PlayStation
then
1.
where did that whole rumor that this was going to be the mother of all backwards compatible consoles come from? You remember? You remember?
Keyword, keyword,
Yeah.
rumor.
All right. Well,
But what games didn't you want to talk about? What games you're looking forward to most, like the top five?
oh no, I mean I mentioned them throughout the video. But for me, it's going to be Resident Evil, Kina, um, crap. Let me pull
Demon
Demon
Souls,
Souls. Um,
NBA
yeah.
2K21.
NBA 2K21. Um, and then crap. Oh, Horizon, and what was the last one? I forget, but yeah. Okay. Here's another question:
What's that?
Is
Kina.
is the PS5 gonna be VR compatible out of the box? Like, I don't want to have to buy like a VR.
You're probably gonna have to buy a headset.
Yeah, no, no, I don't mind buying the peripherals. I'm just saying, like, I don't want them to like with PS4. You have to buy a PS4 Pro to get VR.
No, you don't.
So you can run VR on a regular old PS4. Okay,
Yes.
okay, I didn't know that. I thought you had to
The,
use
the,
PS.
the, the PlayStation VR system is a separate system that connects to a PlayStation 4. There's actually like a separate media box, if you will, or graphics box for the VR, and it connects to the PlayStation camera and the PlayStation 4, and then the VR headset connects to that graphics box as
Oh,
well.
okay, then that's even
And
worse.
and
Yeah,
you're good
Yeah,
to
no,
go.
I don't want.
The thing is that PlayStation VR is definitely going to happen on PlayStation 5. It's probably going to be an updated version
Yeah,
of it, and it's probably going to be a little bit more streamlined in terms of how it's utilized, because right now it's a little cumbersome.
yeah.
But the thing is that the VR that's currently on PlayStation is one of the best-selling VRs on the market, mostly because of the introductory price. Like I got my PlayStation VR for like 150, I
Hmm.
believe, and that was on like on a Black Friday sale.
Okay.
And I mean, like people are spending thousands of dollars, like on the what was it, the Vive or the Oculus Rift? I
So
forget.
so actually, Oculus's prices have gone down. You can get an Oculus Rift for like $499, and you can even get an Oculus Quest for $399. So,
But those, I mean, that is literally console prices. Like, would you want to spend that much money
well,
for
the
games
Oculus
for games
Quest,
that you don't play as often as like regular system games?
yeah,
Like that, it depends on your
yeah.
utility of the
Well,
system.
yeah.
But as far as oh,
No, no. I was just gonna say off the top of
I
my
was gonna
head.
ask. I was gonna ask, as far as like the PlayStation 5 reveal event, um, do you think that they did enough to entice you to purchase the console
Um,
day one?
Day one. So here's the thing. I'm gonna take the cynical approach here as to why I'm gonna buy the console day one, and
Oh,
that cynical approach is production has been destroyed by what's going on in the world right now, and
yes.
everything is so hard to get that we might see a case like what happened with the PS3, where if you don't get it, it's going to be gone and you're going to have to wait, or like what happened with the Switch. So I'm going to take the cynical approach here and say I'm going to get a PlayStation 5. I'm going to pre-order it, but only because I'm pretty sure that it's going to be hard to get one for like the next year or maybe 2 years. And that's my
Mm,
stance. What about
okay.
you?
So aside from some really, really beautiful CG sequences, there was nothing. What's it called, in terms of like a leap gameplay
Mhm. Yeah,
wise
yeah, I agree with you.
that warrants me getting a PlayStation 5 day one
Yes.
yet. Yet. Yet.
No, I totally agree
Uh,
with you. I totally agree with you.
and so I obviously need to see more, but I think I bought my PlayStation 4 day one, and I was severely disappointed at I mean, the launch lineup was terrible.
Dude, what I got the PlayStation 4
Yeah.
too as well, and I was like, why did I buy this? I didn't want to
Yeah, no,
play
no,
anything.
exactly. Like I didn't really enjoy it until Metal Gear Solid 5, uh what was it? Ground Zeroes came
Yeah.
out. And even then Ground Zeroes was a
Yeah.
demo, you
Yeah,
know? Yeah, well, it's actually more like a prologue, but
I was
still.
playing my Xbox 360 a year after I got my PS4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
So I like, I want to think that I've learned, but at the same time, I am a game
Yeah.
collector and I love like new games. So if they have a couple of day one games like
Yes.
Demon Souls, I think I would
Yeah.
definitely get a day one for Demon Souls, but I haven't seen a release date for it
Yeah.
yet, so we'll
Now
see.
here's what I want to
And then huh?
so this is what I wanted to say to people. Um, be aware that there's probably going to be a shortage because of the supply
Yes.
chains are all screwed up all over the world right now. Um, Also, be aware that uh, if it does launch, we've already covered all these titles. A lot of these titles are coming out in 2021. So they might not be launch titles. We don't know what the exact launch titles are. And also, it would be nice to know the backwards compatibility and the VR compatibility before, uh, because as I heard that people on Play Asia are pre-ordering for $700. Someone said yes.
What?
Someone sent me a link that Play Asia is offering pre-orders for the PS5 for $700. So I just
Hmm.
want people to be aware that yes, there's going to be a product shortage, but we don't know the launch titles. We don't know the backwards compatibility. We don't know the VR compatibility. So please, I at the minimum am going to wait for those three pieces of information to be revealed before I even consider pre-ordering. So, yeah.
Makes sense.
Um, so I just wanted to end this on a funny note.
Yeah.
There was a lot of hilarious memes for the PS5.
Oh wait, what'd you think? What'd you think about the look of the PS5?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So let's take a look at some of these memes. So this some people are saying it looks like a duckbill. This is the PS5. Uh, the Xbox is a fridge.
I like that Xbox One X. Yeah, it looks like a fridge.
And look at this.
Ooh, it's taco or sandwich.
It looks like a building in Dubai.
Fair enough.
But
again.
yeah, I just so this is this is what I'm gonna say. I think it does look like a building in Dubai, but it looks very artistic and it looks like a centerpiece.
It looks like it was designed by Alienware to me.
It looks like they want you to like put it in the middle of your coffee table and then everyone to just look at it and be like, what is this thing? But my only thing is, can you lay it on its side? Does it have to be?
You can.
Okay.
You can. I think there's some pictures of it on its side.
Okay, the controller. What do you feel about the controller? Because they're leaving their normal Sony design now.
I'm happy. I'm cool with it. I mean, the triggers look the same as the PlayStation 4 controller.
It's just the handles.
And yeah. And then what's it called? I do like that the light bar has been severely diminished. I really don't like the light bar. I really don't. So aside from that, I can't wait to get it in my hands and see how she runs.
Yep. So yeah, that's it for the show today, everyone. Thanks for watching, and please stay tuned, and we'll see.
What are your top 5 games? What are you looking forward to from the PS5?
Yeah. Let us know in the comments below. What are the games that you like? And let us know. Do you think the PS5 looks good, or do you think it looks like a building in Dubai? And we'll see you all next time.
Take care.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this episode of Games I Speak. Please hit subscribe if you liked the video, and let us know what you thought of the PlayStation 5 reveal in the comments below, and see you all next time.